I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at my website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show sounds a little ominous, but it's not. The title is A Fateful Change. And that is because we are now entering the month of March, and March is a turnaround month. It's a month when there is going to be change, and some of it will be fateful change. In other words, change that is sort of meant to be. And that is because there are planets that are at the 29th degree of fate, and they are going to be, in fact, there's two of those planets, and they are going to be changing signs. And so is a third planet during the month. So this is a time when you can make a sort of a turnaround, and it can be based on a very truthful assessment of what your limitations are, or what you are planning to do in the future. And if you're looking at your future plans and you're also looking at your limitations, maybe those can be evened out, and you can reconcile both of them in one way or another and make a fateful change, because that's actually well favored. And so it can be that if you have been waiting a long time to make a change, there could be a really good one coming up for you now. And that is because people change, and so do large corporations and government agencies and institutions. And sometimes they change their policies as well, and they change their management, and they change their staffs. And generally, all of that is based on the current economic climate. And it can also be based on the fact that some people have other future plans, or some people are deciding to change their roles in life. Maybe they feel it's time and they want to do that. Well, that's just fine. And so this is a time that people can be changing in different ways and making fateful changes. It may not be that they are initiating the change. It may be that there's a change, say, around you somewhere, and because that fateful change is happening, it could free you up to be thinking about making one of your own. And so that's good. For instance, one of the really important planets that's changing signs this month is Pluto at the 29th degree of Capricorn. And it is being reinforced or trined by Uranus in Taurus, and that is a fixed financial sign. Capricorn rules big business and government agencies and institutions, and it rules your 10th house of career and your public reputation. And it rules rewards that are bestowed upon you or earned by you over time, because the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of time. And so both Saturn and Pluto are very slow-moving planets. So if there is a fateful change coming up, it may have been a long time coming. And there may have had to be a lot of different things that finally are falling into place to make a fateful change occur. And that is because there is strength in the earth signs, and yet these are uncertain economic times. And people change, so the condition of their health can change as well. And that is why I think that some fateful change that you may want to make can be based on your current limitations. For instance, you may have a health condition that you have to attend to. And yet that doesn't mean you can't go forward. It just means that you sort of have to take your health condition with you as you go. And that is possible. But in the realm of business or of your career, or of your long-term gains, or your public reputation, I think that the fateful change, since Pluto is at that 29th degree of fate, will be a power change. Because Pluto represents people in powerful positions. So they can be the people that are making policies, or they can be in charge of upper management or be upper management. And so I think that there is a fateful change coming. And it could be in your career, or it could be in the company that you work for, or a government organization or institution that you are affiliated with in one way or another. And the reason the power change can be coming about could be, for instance, because somebody who has been in power is perhaps stepping down. And the reason they're stepping down could be because their valuable qualities and their skills are no longer needed, or at least they're not needed enough to retain their position of power. So there could be an upcoming pending power shift of one sort or another. And so they decide to retire. And that's fine, because looking at your limitations as well, which we all have to do, maybe they don't want to just surge forward anymore. Maybe they feel they've paid their dues and they've done their share, and they want to go on and perhaps lead a little quieter life. So a fateful power change could be a timely one, but I don't think it's going to hurt anybody. And in fact, it could really help someone who had really worked long and hard, and enough is enough. And so they decide to step down, and that's because they may be changing roles. Maybe there's something else they want to do instead. But at the same time, it could also be a power change due to current economic conditions. And so corporations can be deciding perhaps to cut their budgets and to trim their staff, simply because they want to make it through uncertain economic times, and with high interest rates, high inflation, and high overall debt. Those things are just weighing very heavily on a lot of people and a lot of organizations. So it can be a power change, a fateful power change, simply due to current economic conditions, and that could affect you no matter what position you're in or what you want to do in your life. So we can all be subject to that. Another kind of fateful change can come from a planet that is also at 29 degrees. And it too is being trined by other planets. So when planets trine each other, it means they're supporting each other or fortifying each other. It's sort of like you got some backup. And so Saturn is now at the 29th degree of Aquarius, which rules the future. Oh, but Saturn is a planet of time. It rules, remember, Capricorn, and it rules rewards earned over a long period of time. So Saturn is a slow mover, and of course Pluto is too. And Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn is exactly sextile Saturn at 29 degrees of Aquarius. It's just that Saturn is a slow planet in a sign that rules the future. And Saturn is being conjuncted by Mercury, the planet of communication and easy transitional change, and it is at 28 degrees of Aquarius. And these two planets in a fixed air sign are trining Mars in Gemini. And together those three planets are also trining the sign of Libra. And so that's very good, because it emphasizes communication, and it emphasizes things that you may have been thinking about or working toward for a long time that involve your future plans. Maybe just little by little you've been working toward trying to make a dream come true, or a future plan. Maybe now you have enough experience that you feel you can go forward with it. And maybe you are willing to talk about that or advertise that or promote it in some way and have other people help you right now. Remember, these three planets are trining the sign of Libra, and Libra rules partnership. And so this fateful change that could occur through these planets, particularly Saturn at that 29th degree of fate, is an indication that a breakthrough could be occurring. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus rules sudden, surprising change. So perhaps something that you have been working on could suddenly sort of come through. And so it's possible that there can be a sudden breakthrough in a future plan or project or ambition that you have had for a while and that you have been thinking about and working on. So that could be good. So what does that mean? It means that the waiting is over. You know, Saturn is at the end of Aquarius. It's at the end of a sign that rules the future. So the fateful change that you could be undergoing right now, which could be very good, representing a breakthrough of some sort that you'd been working on for a long time, that fateful change could indicate that you're all ready to, really make things work. In other words, the future is here. The future is now. You're ready. And the waiting is over. And the reason the waiting is over is because that is one thing Saturn represents. It represents a slow way to do something. And that's what's over. And so now you can be going forward in a very accomplished way. I mean, it would have taken you a long time to be working on this future plan, but you could have a lot of experience now. Saturn is the planet of experience. And you could be all ready to face a wonderful breakthrough. And that's why the waiting is over. Congratulations. So that's a different kind of fateful change. And then there is another fateful change. Because if the breakthrough is upon you and the waiting is over, then what's going to really propel you forward? Well, it's the money. And I think the reason why the breakthrough happens is because the money is there. Now, large entities like companies and governments, they have to account for their budgets way in advance. And so there can be power changes at high levels in that respect. But if it's regarding a plan that you've had or something that you want to do in the future and you've been working at it or you have experience in it, then now I think the money is there. And that's why you can go forward. And the reason why the money is there is because I'm saving the best for last here. Because the Sun and Neptune are in Pisces, where we just had a wonderful new moon last week. And Neptune is now at 25 degrees of Pisces. It is getting close to the end of the sign, but it's not going to change signs yet. It's a real slow mover. And that Neptune and the Sun in Pisces are both being trined beautifully by the moon today in Cancer. And those three planets are trining the sign of Scorpio as well. Scorpio is a fixed financial sign. That's why I think the money is there. Or something of value. That breakthrough could have something to do with the money being there, and that's why the waiting is over. And that is because it's a trine of the lights. It's hard to get any better than that. So the Sun in Pisces is trining the moon in Cancer. Well, the moon rules Cancer. And Neptune is also in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces. These two planets are very strong right now in the healing water signs. So yes, I think the money's there. And there can be a breakthrough, finally. And it may come as a surprise to you that the breakthrough is there and the waiting is over, but the actual project or the goal or the plan that you've had for your future, I think you've been working on that for a while. You're real familiar with that. But it could just catch you by surprise and now you can go forward. And that's because there is some money somewhere around for it. And it will make you feel good. And so this is a time when a fateful change, it doesn't have to be a great big one like a whole government deciding to do something. What it can be is something that you've been working on for a while and that you've been sort of systematically going toward. And now you can be achieving your goal. And the breakthrough means that the money is there and you can go forward. So congratulations. A fateful change. It would have been a long time coming. And I think that we're all ready for that. So, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. Well, Aries, you could be in seventh heaven right now, because Aries, Venus, the planet of love and peace and partnership and diplomacy and negotiation and compromise and the law, Venus has now come up in your sign to the 11th degree, and it is conjuncting very closely, in close alignment with Jupiter at 12 degrees. So Venus is at 11, Jupiter is at 12 degrees, and they're both in your sign, Aries. Lucky you. There certainly is a new beginning somewhere in your life, Aries, and I think it's making you happy. These are two of the best planets in the whole universe, and they're in your sign, which does rule new beginnings. So it doesn't have to be a fateful change, but it certainly is a new beginning that you are looking at, Aries. And it may not be your new beginning, it may be somebody else's, but it would make you very happy. So congratulations. If you yourself are thinking of making a new beginning, the timing is excellent for that right now. I think you should do that. And the reason why is that, as I said, March is a turnaround month. And the next new moon is in your sign. And so you are meant to make a new beginning. And this could be the result of some sort of fateful change that either you have just made or you're about to make. And that can be occurring because you want to go forward on a new beginning, or because somebody else's new beginning very favorably affects you in one way or another. And so that's good. So I think you're going to have some good news, Aries. And that would be very nice. You should really enjoy that right now, because your ruler, Mars, is still in Gemini, and it too is under wonderful aspects, because Mercury and Saturn in Aquarius at that fateful 29th degree are trining that Mars. So that gives you a lot of backup too, because your ruler is being fortified really well right now, Aries. And Mars in Gemini is sextiling Jupiter and Venus in your sign. So it would be, and Gemini rules easy transitional change. It would be very easy for you to make some sort of shift or easy change or even a move of some sort, but it would be sort of an easy one or something that would be congenial. And I suggest you really do that right now, Aries, or try to do that. Because Mars is one of the 3 planets that's going to change this month in March. And it will leave Gemini and it will go into Cancer. And when it goes into Cancer, it is going to square your sun. And so that is going to make things a little bit harder on you, Aries. You are going to have to make some adjustments that may not be too easy. But right now, you can just be floating along on a little cloud of happiness, and I hope you really enjoy that. So you at least could be in a very good mood, and there could be a good reason for it. So congratulations. What does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. Well, remember I said that there's a fateful change going on for everybody in one way or another. And among the earth signs, it could have a lot to do with the fact that Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn, and it is trining Uranus in your sign, Taurus. And so it's backing your sign up, which it has been doing for many years, a couple decades actually. And yet it's at the 29th degree of fate, and that means it's going to be going into Aquarius this month in March. Pluto's one of the planets that changes. And so I think, Taurus, that you are looking at some sort of fateful change. Now, it should be something that perhaps you knew was coming along. In other words, it could be a retirement that you have been thinking about, well, maybe this is the perfect time, so maybe that will be just great. It could be that your public reputation has been built on one kind of activity or associated with one kind of group, and you can be making a fateful change to another group or another kind of activity based on your limitations and even your current health conditions at this time. But that would all work out pretty well for you. So there is the possibility, Taurus, that there is a change of power. Now, it might be your power, because maybe you are deciding, well, enough is enough. I've worked hard at this. I'm ready to move on. Well, that's fine. It's a fateful change, but there's nothing wrong with that. It can also be that a certain skill set that you have is no longer required as much during the present economic conditions. Remember, companies are cutting back, governments have high debt, institutions have got to be real careful what they do right now because the world is changing so much. And so it can be that the skill level that you were really good at for many years can be not required as much anymore. There's nothing wrong with your skill. It just means that times have changed, and that will institute a power change, and that may give you a reason to move on. And if you do decide to do that, Taurus, you are going to have a rather nice severance package accompanying any fateful change that you make. There will be some long-term money that's been held somewhere. That's what Pluto and Capricorn stands for. Capricorn stands for long-term security, and Pluto is a planet of power. And so you may have been putting money away for a while. And so I don't think you're going to have any financial worries, Taurus, but I do think that there could be a power change, and it could be that it's just time to move on. And actually, you could be breathing a sigh of relief when that happens, Taurus, because your sign is known for working very hard. But, I mean, there's other things to do in life, such as appreciate things and, develop some of your own skills that please you personally. And so if you decide to move on, it could be into a new role that fits you a little better now, Taurus. So I think you're going to enjoy that. So I don't think a power change is going to hurt you. I think a power change and maybe is just what you need. I think you'll love it. Particularly if you have a little bit more time to yourself and you have more money to enjoy that time. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. Well, Gemini, remember I said March is a turnaround month, and the reason why is that there are 3 planets changing signs this month, and one of them is in your sign, Gemini. It's Mars. And so that simply means that there is some sort of a breakthrough coming for you, Gemini, or there is the possibility of being able to make an easy transitional change, and that could have been a long time coming. And the reason why is that Mercury, your own ruler, is at 28 degrees of Aquarius today, and it is tightly conjuncting Saturn at the 29th degree of Fate in Aquarius. Remember, that rules the future. And they are both strongly trining your sun sign, where you have Mars. And so, you could be sort of busy right now, Gemini. You could sort of have a lot of irons in the fire. You could be thinking, well, spring's coming and I've got a lot to do. Well, you do, Gemini. And I would suggest you sort of get right on it. And the reason why is that Mars is an energizing planet. And so use that Martian energy to try to do as many things as you can right now that help represent an easy, or help you make an easy transitional change, because that could be coming up. And it simply means that something that you'd always hoped to do in your future, there could be a breakthrough now, and that could be possible. And if that's possible, you'd have to sort of in a hurried way, you'd have to sort of catch up with a lot of things that you haven't quite gotten around to yet, Gemini, and clear those up first. And that's what you need to do now. And so I think you're going to continue to be busy throughout the whole month. But you will breathe a sigh of relief when Mars leaves your sign, because it is an energizer planet. And, you know, it could have brought you some worries. It could have made you too busy. And it's been in your sign since last August. And so you might be able to look forward to a time when a breakthrough occurs, and it involves something that's been in the works for a long time, and it's headed your way, and it can be very rewarding. So I think it's a plan or a goal for your future that you've had for a long time, and I think you're sort of taking the next step up, or you're doing the next best thing on the road of life right now, Gemini, and getting ready to make an easy transitional change that has been in the works for perhaps a very long time. But it's going to do you a world of good. So, and the reason why, remember, if there is a breakthrough, if the waiting is over, it's because the money is there. And so, congratulations, Gemini. I don't mean that pennies from heaven are going to fall into your lap tomorrow, but I would say they're on their way, Gemini, and I don't think you're going to have too much to worry about. So you just have to keep busy and, you know, sort of tie up a lot of loose ends right now if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, the moon is in your sign today. Oh, lucky you, because that's your ruler, Cancer. And Cancer rules the traditional fourth house of home and last half of life, and it rules endings, which Cancers do very well. So if there is some sort of power change, a fateful power change, or if there is some sudden breakthrough that allows you perhaps to go and pursue a future plan that had been in the works for a while, but now you can really follow through on that, I suggest you do that, Cancer, because there's money around for it. There's money around for something that you want to do. And it is sort of right on your horizon, Cancer. And so a breakthrough is possible. The waiting can be over. A delayed dream can certainly be coming true. And that is because your ruler, the moon, in your sign today is being beautifully trined by the sun and by Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune and the moon are two inspirational, intuitive planets. They're both in water signs, and that simply means that there is a healing going on of some kind. And it could involve your home or your family, or it can involve something where you realize that something is ending. And a Cancer does ending so well that the way that a Cancer does an ending is he or she makes sure that everyone is happy when the ending occurs. And so that sort of means everyone has a good ending. And so this ending could affect a lot of people, but it's okay. It's like going on to the next phase of life, or the next generation, or the next future goal. It's you're going to be able to embrace an ending and look at it as a chance for you to make some sort of breakthrough or long delayed dream come true of your own. And so I don't think you're going to have to work on an ending anymore, Cancer. The ending's there, but it's okay. And now you can work on a breakthrough or a plan or a goal or a dream of your own, and it is extremely well aspected to come true. So congratulations, Cancer. You may have done very well by others, but I think now It's time for you to enjoy um, something very heartwarming of your own. And it would involve a dream. And I think now is the time when the dream comes true. And it's just your dream, Cancer. And you're free for that now. The breakthrough is that the fateful change is one to where you are free to do what you want now. It's time. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. Well, Leo, you couldn't ask for two better planets to trine your sun than Venus and Jupiter, which are both in Aries, trining your sun right now. So you are looking at a new beginning, and I think that it is headed your way, Leo. And the reason why is it's a very new beginning. That's what Aries rules. And so, you know, Aries doesn't rule things that have been hanging on forever or that have taken a long time to do. It rules things that come forward in a timely way. And it generally rules enthusiasm and energy because the Aries ruler is Mars. And Mars has been in Gemini since last August, continually sextiling your sun, Leo. And so you may have already guessed, even from last summer, that there were changes coming along, and you may have been sort of quietly adjusting to those changes. Some of these could be changes that you had been hoping would occur and that you'd been planning, and so we would call those future changes of your own. But I think the new beginning that's headed your way is somebody else's new beginning, and they are involving you in it. And so I don't necessarily think it's your new beginning. I think you're involved in someone else's, and it is a very timely. If somebody comes along and says to you, Leo, "Oh, hey, why don't we do this?" You should say yes. It will, even if you hadn't thought of it, it will do you a world of good. And if you are involved in a fateful change that someone else is making that represents a new beginning, I would say that you really need to look closely at that, because there would be a great benefit to that, and the benefit would be to you. Even though it was someone else's new beginning, it would benefit you. And that's why you should join that group or join some sort of new opportunity right now, Leo, because whether you're ahead of it or not is not as important as that you would be doing the right thing and you'd be doing it with the right people. And that's a wonderful way to start anything new. So you should try that. And so I think that the waiting is over. Saturn is, you know, there's 3 planets in fixed signs right now, and so they're all challenging your sign, Leo. Mercury and Saturn, which is now at the 29th degree, and Mercury's at the 28th degree of Aquarius, are both opposing your sun sign. Someone else is going to experience a wonderful breakthrough, then the waiting time is over, and they're going to be on their way. Okay, so what that means, Leo, is that if you had had any power over them before, there will be a fateful power change. They may be assuming more power of their own now. And they may have been working on that for a while. But it's okay. It's their future. That'll be fine. And then Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun. And when Saturn changes into Aquarius later on this month in March, when Pluto changes into Aquarius later on this month, Pluto will be opposing your sun sign, and it will be squaring Uranus in Taurus. And that is when we are looking at a fateful change in financial conditions. And Leo, yours is a sign of generosity. Try not to spend your last dime right now, Leo. You probably are going to need it pretty quick. So be a little bit careful what you do with your money, and try to be really generous with your time or your encouragement or something like that instead. And if someone else is making a new beginning, I hope that you wish them well and stick to them, because that could benefit you too. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is the time, Virgo, when there can be a fateful change in your life. And Virgo, I think it is upon you now. And it's going to continue through the month of March. So I think you're making a fateful change this month. And could happen any time from today on. And that is because Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn, so it could have something to do with your career. It could be a promotion. It could be a job change to a different group or a different activity, but it would benefit you, Virgo, because Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree is trining your sun. But Uranus in Taurus is also trining your sun. And that simply means that there's more money around somewhere for you, Virgo. Now, since your sign rules accounting, it can be that you're being a little bit more careful with your money. Remember, people change. Economic conditions are a little bit uncertain right now. Actually, I think they're very uncertain. And so you may have been changing around some of your financial accounts to make them a little bit more secure. And or you may be investing in things that can give you a better return. That would be fine. So I think you benefit from that. But as far as a fateful change, I do think that's upon you, Virgo. And I don't know if you're necessarily agreeing with it or not, but it's going to happen anyway. Remember, it represents a power change. So if you have been in power, or you want to be in power, you may decide to apply for a more responsible job, or something that you feel you're uniquely suited for, and that you really feel you can do it better than anybody else, and not in a bragging way, but paying attention to detail and things, which is what you're good at. So you may apply for a position that is meant to be. I think you'd be able to do it really well, Virgo. And so this is not the time for you to employ your usual modesty, where you're thinking that you're not completely perfect. Well, neither is anybody else, Virgo. So you have to give yourself credit for your talent, and realize that other people are giving you credit for that too. And you probably could make more money now if you wanted to. Because in uncertain financial times, what are people looking for? Reliability. They're looking for people they can trust. They're looking for people that are going to do the job, and they'll stick with it till it's all done, till it's finished. And your sign rules finishing. That's why you're not afraid of some new challenge. Virgos are very good problem solvers. Whatever the problems are, you can solve them, Virgo. So this is a time maybe when you should aim a little higher, or go a little further, or try to make more money. It doesn't hurt to apply. And I think that you could be successful at that right now. So I think there will be a fateful change sometime in the month of March for you, Virgo. And it won't hurt you. It may take you out of a comfort zone of some sort, but it's definitely not going to hurt you, and it might even put you in a better comfort zone. So give it a try. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Libra. This is a time, Libra, when you sure got a lot going for you. And the reason why is that the Mercury and Saturn at the 29th degree of Aquarius are trining your sun, and Mars in Gemini is also trining your sun. And both Saturn and Mars, which are in a harmonious trine to each other and to your sun, are going to change signs this month in March. They'll both move into the next signs. So Saturn is going to move into Pisces, and Mars is going to move into Cancer. And so, in a way, Libra, you will not have quite the steadfast support that you have enjoyed for quite a long time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong going on, but what it means is that something that you had been relying on as, say, a home base, or something that is right at the base of your life and that represents some sort of security for you, even if it's just the place where you live. Maybe you've been living there a long time. That is due to shift or change in some way in March. And that's not going to be a bad thing for you, Libra, because this trine in the air signs represents that the waiting is over, that a breakthrough can be upon you. And there can be people that are now wanting to talk and wanting to sort of deal with you and wanting to sort of get the ball rolling on something. Why? Because the money's there. Somewhere in your life, Libra, there is more money. And it's there. Maybe you have to reach out and work a little harder for it. But you have a great deal of experience that is going to make you the right person in the right place at the right time. And experience is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is at that 29th degree of fate. So, here's a little hint, Libra. Somewhere in your life, you have already gained the experience that you need in order to make a future plan work. And so it's like doing it with your eyes closed. You could, Libra. And so don't be afraid of anything. Just remember that it's, Libras are very good at negotiating and talking with other people. You need to keep that up, Libra, so that you're always working with someone else. And that way, first of all, you'd have a partner that could help you. Your sign rules partnership, that could help you with your goals or with your plans, and you could help them as well. Little mutual appreciation going on there. And so you don't have anything to worry about, Libra. And I do think the money is there. Somewhere the money is there. Your financial fortune should be looking up a little bit, or else you would be offered some way to make more money. And that would be good for you too. So you need to expand right now, Libra. A breakthrough is possible. And I think the waiting is over. So go to it. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, you are the beneficiary of 3 good planets in the water signs, very strong planets that are all trining your sun. And that is because the sun today and Neptune in Pisces are trining your sun, where the new moon was last week that trined your sun. And then the moon today is in Cancer, and it too is trining your sun. There should be very good news that has to do with a family matter or a real estate or a home matter of some sort. There could be great news about that, or about some sort of a move. Maybe it could be just in the preparation stage, but it still could be good news. And also, there can be some sort of money coming in, and it can be your money that is perhaps growing a little bit right now, Scorpio, so that would be good. Or there is money coming from some other source, and that can be helping you with a future project that you had been working on for a while. And remember, the trine in the air signs means that the waiting is over and a breakthrough is possible. And the Venus and Jupiter in Aries, sign of new beginnings, mean a new beginning can start off really well and quickly. And so, Scorpio, you could be just in the right place at the right time for doing something that involves a home or a family or a real estate matter, or something that involves that and a delayed dream coming true. And it could be something that has to do with your future plans. So if the delayed dream is something that you said, oh, in the future I'd always like to be doing this or be associated with this, well, maybe the future is landing on your doorstep, Scorpio. Maybe the future is now. And that is because yours is a fixed financial sign, and somewhere in your life there's more money around now, Scorpio. Or there can be. I don't know if you... It could be that the value of your investments are growing in some way, so they're worth more. You may not want to spend that money, but it's nice to have it. And it could help a delayed dream come true. So if there is any kind of a fateful change in your life, Scorpio, I would say it's a change for the better. And it's a healing change. It's going to make you feel better. And it is not going back to the past. It is something that allows you the freedom to go forward on your own. And Scorpio rules secrecy. And they're a little quiet about their own hopes and dreams. They sort of keep them to themselves. And so maybe it has something to do with a private wish or hope or dream that could have been delayed, but remember, it has to do with a better future for you, one that involves much more healing and happiness. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Sagittarius. Well, a new beginning is just right at your doorstep, Sagittarius. In fact, I think you know about it already, and if you haven't had a meeting with other people about it, then you're just about to. Or if you haven't got all the paperwork signed and dated and sent, you will, because there is a new beginning that will be very beneficial for you, Sagittarius. And it should happen sort of fast. That's because Venus and Jupiter are in Aries, both trining your sun. So, and Aries is a very fast-moving fire sign. It can be, at the very least, that you're planning on taking a long-distance trip. And that could work out really well for you, Sagittarius. I hope you do that. And maybe now is the time when you're planning it, or now is the time when you're setting your schedule up to do that, something like that. That would really work out well. Or it can be simply that this is a time when you are wanting to be involved a little bit more with higher education in one way or another. And if you feel that increased training will help you with a future project, you'd probably be right about that. But also you would have the experience now to go ahead and qualify for something that is a little higher up job, and so there might be more money connected with that. Or else it can be that there could be some sort of a promotion coming. Or what I think it will involve, Sagittarius, is a job transfer. That's what I think it will involve. Not the same thing at the same level that you are right now, but something that is a transfer and something that is different. And once again, not at the same level that you are now, but on a level that is more compatible with your own limitations and your own future plans. So in a way, it's going to work out better for you, Sagittarius, but it won't be the same thing you're doing right now. But it should be, first of all, it's going to get off to a wonderful start. And I think that it is going to head you in a new direction, and it'll be one that is allowing you to move a little bit more at your own pace, which is not what you have been able to do in the past. You've had to respond to other people's deadlines all the time. But now you're going to be able just to move forward at your own pace. And that is really going to work out well for you, Sagittarius. So a new beginning might be landing right on your doorstep, but I think it's going to be more on your terms than you think, and it's really going to make you happy. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. This is a time, Capricorn, when there can be a power change, a fateful power change in your life. And that is because Pluto, which has been in your sign for many years, is now at that 29th degree of fate, and it is trining Uranus in Taurus. So that fateful change can have something to do with a financial matter. And it might be, since your sign rules your career and your public reputation and your 10th house of long-term security, it can be that you are ready to retire. Or it can be that you have some money tucked around in a retirement fund, regardless of what your age is, but you have that little money tucked away somewhere, and you can be handling it in a way that is more profitable for you now. Either because you're using that money to do something like open a business of your own that can be successful, okay, so that would be profitable. Or it can, even if you start small, it could still be profitable. Or it can be that there is money around for you to make some sort of investment that would tend to even make you more financially secure. So I think your money's going to grow, is what I'm saying, Capricorn. And you're going to find some way to have it do that. And it might be that you don't have as much disposable cash, but that you're using the money that you have in a way that will make more money for you going forward. And that's worth it. That is worth it. In uncertain economic times, it's the people who sit down and put a pencil to something and figure out the actual costs of things, or how much time something is going to take, or what the underlying profit will be in the end. It's those people that can make it through bad times pretty well because they're really on top of their money. They're really managing it well. And you're pretty good at that, Capricorn. All the earth signs are. So this is a time when a fateful change could occur. I don't mean just today. It could be any time in the month of March. But it can be that you're moving your money around in some way that's a little bit better for you, and that it could work out quite well. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Aquarius. Well, Aquarius, this is a time of a fateful change for you. And you could breathe a big sigh of relief, Aquarius, because something is really over in your life, and it involved a lot of hard work, or it involved some heartache, or it involved some financial constraint that you have had to deal with the whole time that Saturn was in your sign. So it could involve things that were very expensive, or at least higher expenses that you incurred in one way or another. Now, you may have needed to do that. You may have had a future project that required some financial outlay and a lot of hard work. And over the last 2 or 3 years, you would have accomplished quite a bit. Just working on something a little bit at a time until you got it right. And you would have done very well with that, Aquarius. You ought to give yourself a little pat on the back. You have made it through some pretty challenging years. And now I think you are going to see, oddly enough, a breakthrough. You're going to see that the waiting is over. And you're going to be saying to yourself, oh, look what I've done. I mean, this is wonderful. Or gee, my plans did work out. I mean, maybe you could be surprised at all that. But you also should be rather proud of the way that you have stuck to something in the last 2 or 3 years, almost 3 years actually. And at the time when you were facing a lot of challenges, you had absolutely no idea how to handle them, and you just jumped in and did it. And you just thought of how to do things, and if you tried something and it didn't work, then you try something else until something did work. I mean, that is the influence of Saturn in your sun sign, which is called the taskmaster. It makes you learn things the hard way. Okay, so now Saturn is at that 29th degree of fate, which means you have learned something the hard way in the last 2 or 3 years, haven't you, Aquarius? And you have greatly benefited from it. You're on top now, Aquarius. And I will say that you earned it. You got there by yourself. You did the work. And you're there. And so there will be some sort of a breakthrough. You may be very surprised that the waiting is over. And there is money there. Or there is something of value there. Or there's happiness there. So this is a very rewarding time for you. A fateful change that you have been undergoing the whole time that Saturn has been in your sun sign is resulting in something amazing. Even better than you thought it would be. I mean, you could be surprised that, oh, gee, everything worked. Particularly since you didn't quite know what you were doing until you faced your problems and just, worked them out. They call that having sweat equity. When you put in the work and you keep going. Well, now you're going to have a wonderful reward for it, Aquarius. So congratulations. Saturn is moving on into Pisces this month. And it's like a cloud is just going to lift for you. It's like whatever that cloud was in the last 2 or 3 years, it's not coming back. It's gone. And that could make you realize that a fateful change, even something you hadn't been planning on at all, that caught you by surprise, will have worked out extremely well for you. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. Well, Pisces, you could be feeling sort of nice and cozy and happy about something right now. And the reason why is the lights are in water signs. And they're trining each other. And Neptune is in your sign. And it's your ruler. And it's accompanied by the sun now. And together they are trining the moon today in Cancer. And those 3 planets are also trining the sign of Scorpio. And so, congratulations, Pisces. I think there's more money around somewhere for you, Pisces. And that money should be used, and it shouldn't be squandered. It should be used to make a delayed dream come true. So, yours is a double-bodied mutable sign. Maybe you have 2 delayed dreams that you would like to see come true, Pisces. Well, you're going to have to choose just one first and work on that. And maybe at the time that you're working on one delayed dream coming true, maybe that other dream is going to come true as well. Maybe it'll just sort of sneak up on you when you're not looking. And it'll come true too. Because you are going through a period of time, Pisces, of healing. And it is healing from the inside out. Okay? So like no matter what else is happening in your life around you, it might be good, it might be troublesome, whatever it is, it could be a fateful change somewhere, but inside of you, you are healing. And it has something to do with your home, or your family, or a real estate matter. Maybe you're going to move. Or maybe someone's moving in with you. Who knows? But the money will be there. The money will be there to do it. That's the important thing. So either you're going to have more money or you're somehow going to get more money, and you can be very happy and looking forward to a change, a fateful change in your life that is actually very healing. I think you've been wanting it for longer than you realize, Pisces. And now that it's upon you, even if it wasn't your own idea, maybe it was forced upon you. I said, people change. and jobs change, and policies and management changes. Okay, so there can be a lot of changes around, but the biggest and most wonderful change for you, Pisces, is inwardly. And something that really hurt, even from a long time ago. It's never going to hurt you like that again, Pisces. It's over. The hurt's over. And that's because your little heart is healed. It is healed. And now, go ahead and reach out, Pisces. It's like you're a whole person again. And it doesn't mean that you changed your looks or anything. What it means is that whatever was causing you pain on the inside is gone. You're healed. And what has replaced it is this warm feeling of knowing that you're okay. It's not just that you're okay because you're feeling better. It's because you know you're an okay person. You know that you're a good person no matter what else happened to you. And you can go forward with that. You can say to yourself, well, people like me. Or people treat me well. Or I'm blessed. And when we start counting our blessings, that's when we realize how rich we really are. When you're rich in your heart, those kinds of riches are priceless. And they never have anything to do with something that money can buy. They all have to do with loving and healing yourself and getting over the pain and going forward. So a new day is dawning for you, Pisces. I would say the sun is shining on you, not right now. And that's on the outside. But on the inside in your heart, there's a lot of sunshine too now. So congratulations. A fateful change is, it's for the best. And in some way, it wasn't a bad thing, because now you're healed, and now you're a better person than before. Congratulations. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on my website, starborninstitute.org. Or if you would like to subscribe to my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, I'd be happy to send you the show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And I'd love to have you tell your friends about it too, so that we can sort of all get through a tumultuous up and down year together. And anyway, I'll see you next week. Bye.